Is the 9-to-5 grind bankrupting you spiritually? Well, this might be the video for you. I'm going to help you turn your gambling addiction into a money-making scheme that could either help you quit your job or possibly bankrupt you. Step 1. Find a market. The first thing you're looking for is a pool of money to work against. If you have a small market, you're going to have a hard time not shifting the odds every time you place a bet. So you'd want somewhere where there's a lot of cash to win. We also need a game where we can place a large number of bets. So let's consider the law of large numbers, which states that the larger number of trials you have, the more you will converge on the theoretical value. So if we had a coin that we knew was fair, things might be chaotic in the first few trials. But over 1,000 runs, we can expect a much better result. So you're looking for a market where you can make frequent bets, so in the long run, things will be less about luck and more about their theoretical probability. We also don't want to be playing in a market where the house is working against you. For that reason, casinos are out. It's ideal to have a market where you're betting against other players. That way, if you win or lose, the bookmaker won't care what you do. Step 2. Find an edge. So what do I mean when I say that? We can think of the edge as the knowledge that a certain event is more likely to happen than the rest of the market is aware of. So this can be a fixed fight, a horse on supplements, a loaded dice, or some form of insider trading. But the edge we are looking to find would hopefully not be illegal, and be built off of knowledge that the public has access to, but doesn't take advantage of. Conventional wisdom will tell you that the game of chess is even for both players, and that the best player wins regardless of which side of the board they're on. Well, it turns out that conventional wisdom is wrong. White is 54% more likely to win. But imagine if you figured this out before the rest of the world. You went through every recorded chess match and realized that while the rest of the world thought chess was 50-50, it was more like 46-54. This would be the same as playing a coin toss game with an unfair coin that only you knew about. Although a 4% edge doesn't seem like much, we're going to turn it into a money-making asset. Now let's run our experiment again. We will see that our odds converge to their expected value, and we will win more times than we lose. So to find our edge, we will need to build a statistical model which can estimate an outcome better than anyone else using their intuition. Our model will combine heterogeneous variables into an overall predictor of performance. So instead of looking for trends ourselves, we can plug our data into a computer and use machine learning to find patterns that our biased minds are unlikely to figure out. I like MMA, so let's say that we compiled stats on fighters before competition. Things like their ranking, striking percentage, takedown skills, and record. We can feed our data into a computer and develop a model to make predictions with. If we were able to find that our model is just slightly more accurate than public odds, we would have our edge. Step 3. Bet at the right time. So far we have a market where we can place lots of bets, and an edge to help us win more times than we lose. But how does that translate into earning money? Well, let's imagine an MMA fight, and a list of fighter attributes. If we consider a perfectly even fight, we can imagine that the odds are 50-50. So whatever you bet, you make back exactly, or lose. We can call this a symmetric payoff. But if a fight is skewed, you can expect to see more of a payoff if you bet on the lower end, as the market views the outcome as unlikely. The key is to find a bet that the market undervalues. Let's say the fighter in the blue corner has a better chance of winning according to our model, but the rest of the world seems to think otherwise. That means if we bet on the blue fighter, we receive a better payoff, since the market deems him unlikely to win. The payoff of an event is based on the implied odds of the market. But if you have any experience betting on sports, you'll know that the odds seem to shift with time. At the start of a night, what appears to be a good wager might slowly disappear as more and more bets pile up through the night. This is known as line movement. So the best thing to do is to bet at the last possible moment. Automate as much as you can, because you want to leave it to the last possible second. This way you know what you're getting into, and you're picking the bets that are advantageous. Step 4. Bet the right amount. This is the last and most crucial point of our money-making scheme. But we have to take a quick pit stop and discuss gambler's ruin. If we think back to our unfair coin, we're playing with a 4% edge over the other player. But what if the other player had an infinite supply of money? Let's say we bet 50% of our bankroll. Well, eventually your luck would run out. It turns out that a negative streak hurts you a lot more than it does the person with infinite money. so that means we need to figure out the amount of money we bet to protect our bankroll. But what percentage of our bankroll should we bet for a given edge? Well, there is a mathematically optimal result called the Kelly Criterion to help us out here. If we were to use the Kelly Criterion, we would find that our result is much better than, say, betting 0.10 of our bankroll. So let's say that you had a highly probable bet. Say you had a 70% chance of winning. What would that look like without the Kelly Criterion? Well, not too good. We can tell intuitively that if you bet too much, you can go bust really quickly. If you bet lower, sure, you could protect yourself in the long run, but we are here to make money. So betting the Kelly, or perhaps a fraction of the Kelly Criterion, you can balance both the growth of capital and look to avoid the risk of ruin. If you look at the formula, you can see both the odds of the market and the more accurate odds of our model. This is where we take advantage of an inefficient market. The Kelly formula is a way to milk the edge that you have over the rest of the world. So the name of the game has been raising expected value, which is the theoretical amount of money we stand to win. Sure, in games of chance things happen, but in the long run, if we did our math right, we should see the results pan out in our favor. So in summary, the first step is to find games where we can take advantage of the law of large numbers. Second is to find our positive edge through a statistical model. Third, we want to bet as late as possible to make the most of our edge and avoid things changing on us while we're betting. Finally, we need to bet the right amount of money, because even with a high probability, that doesn't guarantee success in the long run. Hopefully with that, we can stop losing so much and can work on quitting our awful jobs. Or maybe we gamble because we want to destroy ourselves and feel human. Maybe methodically and diligently staying on the course of a plan is what left us so spiritually drained in the first place. Perhaps reckless gambling is one of the few ways to feel alive in the modern world. Who's to say? Thanks for watching. Till next time.